Hey everybody, surprise, it's just me. Welcome to Astrology and Alchemy with Paranormal Sarah and Matt. Sarah should be on soon. I believe she's running late on something. So you got me right now. So welcome back, Dee. Dee's back for Sagittarius season. And here she is.
Ta-da! I've been crying. So you'll notice I've been crying and everything is fine. It's just
Oh, no.
holiday sadness. That's why you're wondering, like, what's wrong? I was on a call with somebody that was really sad. And so that's what my job does is I take really sad calls and like really sad content. And sometimes it rubs off on me and it rubbed off on me a little bit. So I was trying to like redo my mascara and be like, oh God, I can touch this. I can touch this up. And then I was like, no, I can't.
Well, you know, back in the I think I've shared this story before. Back in the blog talk days, I had to ad lib a full 2-hour show when nobody no-showed and nobody called in, and I
I would
monologued for
not do
2
that to
hours.
you.
I just random. It wasn't even like you had a good chat like here where you could see. I
Yeah,
was like a filibuster. I just like
I wouldn't.
randomly was like talking for two
I
hours. So
meant.
if that ever happens, like I
No, I would
can
not
just
do that to
stall.
you. If I stood you up, something would definitely be wrong.
Well,
I'd
no,
be
I
on the
knew you weren't
highway
sitting
fair
up,
and
but I'm like,
square.
if you're ever running late, I can like stall.
No, it was one of those where like I totally was trying to wrap it up and looked down and was like, "Oh my God," and didn't even know like what to say. So anyway, it's just one of those bad timing moments. But that's, as you guys know, if you joined us last week on astrology and alchemy, it's Neptune in Pisces. This is what it looks like in the mental health field. It's overdoses, it's suicides, it's like, delusions. It's people really feeling the depths of it. And that's real. People around the holidays feeling very lonely, feeling like, this is my last, or this is the first, or this is, I don't have this person this time around. And that's sad. Sometimes that's sad. So, um, it's okay to be sad when things are sad. I tell my clients that. And also, life goes on. So at 9 o'clock every Tuesday, we're here at Astrology and Alchemy with me. Gosh, I'm just a mess. And Matt. Matt, thank you so much.
So like
Okay.
we said yesterday was heavy water. I always and
Yeah.
I gotta clarify again. You know, I really ticked off. Well, I didn't really take off. I had like a Pisces person take offense during Pisces season when I say I have a hard time with water. When it's water signs, that's not bashing water signs. It's actually
No.
you like what you don't have. I actually really like water signs.
And
I
it's
struggle when there's a lot of signs in water. That's a different story, different thing.
it's feeling that. It's feeling it and knowing that it's there and that the timing isn't always appropriate. But I think for me, I'm thankful that there's maybe foresight because the people right now really struggling, at least I'm noticing, are kind of like Dee is sharing in the chat room. It's an accountability. That's a really good word rather than a hindsight. Like, I wish I would have done this or I wish I would have done that. The ability to know that you're so emotionally attached to something and that you're feeling these really heavy emotions as things pass or as things come to be, and to be able to address them and ride that wave because there's no going around it. You do have to go through. And in that sense, what I do love is doing therapy or counseling or any of that is you're just there with that person. And sometimes that's kind of what empathy is that you're just there with them. And maybe you share those similar feelings or maybe you don't. But I think a lot of people right now, it's the combination of that full moon that we had with the lunar eclipse. um, the numerology, there's a lot of really crazy numerological witches out there with the 11, 22, 2021 doing cleansing spells. And then we have, all of these different movement, asteroid, dart, all sorts of things happening. Things happening with just astrological nuances. It affects people.
Mhm.
You can feel it. We can
I
feel it.
I learn ahead of time now when we do these shows. I mark the day, and it's a self care. I took lots of naps again on Monday. I just chilled and relaxed. I knew I was going to have a rough time. It was going to drain my energy, and so
Drinking water. I got extra chocolate bars. This is a coconut dark chocolate. It's excellent. I've got these in every corner of every room right now. It's just that time. It's just that time. You know, I've got a little extra blubber coming on. It's the walrus movement going into winter. I just kind of feel it. And it's that sense of comfort where we want to hold on to things. We want to hoard things. We want to keep things, conserve to keep. What does that really mean? And I love the timing of that falling to Thanksgiving, where greediness or gratitude, what is it that you're keeping or giving? I had a mini breakdown because just the family structure and traditions and COVID. It's not a everybody bring a dish. It's just we're going to handle all the food and you just come and like a mini breakdown just over that where I was like, no, 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 no. I already have my pistachio recipes, my pudding, my things that I make, and you can't tell me like the wave, even though it started very small, by the time that it gets to that person, it's a tsunami and can be quite an emotional thing. So, Ruth, Katie, Pepper, all of you guys joining us, thank you. Thank you for joining us wherever you're at. And let us know, how did the week go for you? How did the lunar eclipse go for you? We called the politics and stuff on Friday, didn't we?
yes, we did. Yes, we
It's
did.
man, I do like being psychic sometimes, and I will say that's how validation works. That's where when people go, how do I become psychic? How do I exercise? The validation you get by just speaking, having the confidence to say, this is what I think is going to happen. This is kind of how I feel things are going to pan out. And then you see it come to fruition and you go, ah, yes, that is what I was thinking and feeling. And now I know. Okay. And you just get clearer and clearer pictures of how your intuition works. It feels good.
And then I had people over the weekend. I was doing the ghost investigation in Tennessee, but I had people over the weekend. I posted very neutral comments. I basically posted a statement that you can tell everything is wrong, everything that's wrong with this country by how two groups have very different views of everything, and nobody is like actually like conversing. They're all just like talking at each other. And so even by the way it was worded, it was very neutral. And I had people just jump in and attack. You don't know all the facts. I'm like,
whoa.
but I'm
Whoa.
fine arguing with people. So I jump in and just kept debating them. I'm like, fine, if you want to, I'm like, I'll argue both sides.
It was the ripples.
I like being devil's advocate, and so I can argue either.
I do that too.
Yeah, it's not fair. I can tell you, it doesn't matter whether that's the thing. Sometimes people won't really know what I think because I can just argue either side. I'm skilled at that.
Yeah. My high school boyfriend, who ended up being a homosexual man, he and I, instead of spending countless hours making out like every other normal couple, we spent time debating because we were both on the debate team, or reading Shakespeare because he liked poetry, or learning how to waltz because we did that too.
So did you relate to the movie Clueless then?
Yes. Yes, I did. I did. I have that problem. Anyway, so yeah, and you would think a psychic would know such things, but I was grateful. But anyway, these things are real. Everyone wants to know about the full-bodied apparition.
Yeah.
And Katie said, I wish I knew the definition of psychometry. The ability of reading the energy of objects or the conscious energy of objects. So like the stone, it's from Scotland, and like you can read the energy of an item or thing or something. And they were talking about how when I do my hand things, I have to be very careful. And this is real. My husband has officially caught on to me now. The Bruce Lee force punch. I've practiced it for many years. Anyway, long story. If I wave my hands around, I feel like I break things. If I get really excited and I yell, my electronics will. I like to think I'm really powerful. It's probably nothing, but that's what psychometry is, Katie. Katie, it's our power. It's
You
our
have like
force.
in your magic, you have hand gestures that influence the energy.
It is the casting of the hand gestures. But anyway, we want to hear about the full-bodied apparition.
All right, so we had a lot of cool stuff. If you didn't check out the show, check out the show Sunday night. We had some really wild like audio come through, like outside of James Earl Ray's
Give me
cell. It
drugs.
sounded like he was like doing some trolling, saying, I killed Dr. King, and who needs help? Martin needs help. Yeah, we had some really weird. We had somebody else say that he wanted to give us a treat, and then they were joking around on what the treat was, and then he said that he wanted me to give him cocaine. So, but anyway, yeah, I never told. Last Sunday I just told this story the first time, but the best apparition story I had was leaving Tala. I was doing tours.
Tala Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia. There's a guide behind me, and so we're just walking. I'm walking out with a guest, talking to them. And I look behind, and the guide and this other guy just walking side by side down the hall. So I don't think anything of it. And then I escort this person out, and I turn around, and it's just the guide alone behind me. And I'm like, what happened to the person next to you? He's like, there's nobody next to me. He's like, but the whole side that was facing it, he's like, that's weird because that side was like all numb. So I didn't think anything of it. Just like two people walking side by side. Well, the one wasn't there. Well, this was a similar thing in detail. Like I could do like a mugshot, like, or whatever you call those things.
You could see
sketch, like a crime sketch of the person, like details of the face, details of the clothes. So near the end of the night, at the prison, Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary in Tennessee, one of my team members is looking down I wonder how many times this happens even to me investigating, because this was kind of cool to see. She's looking down the cell block, and there's a door to the outside to her right. And so while she's looking down the cell block, I'm coming behind her, and I see somebody move really quickly past the door. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, there shouldn't have been anyone out in the yard. I got a quick check. So I kind of like maneuvered around her, ran out, and then ran all around the yard. And there was nobody. So that was and again, same thing. I saw detail. I saw hair color. I saw color of shirt.
What was it?
Pants. Dark hair, white shirt, jeans.
Colored shirt? I just spit on myself. I was so excited. A colored shirt?
Well, and the one in Tala was he had dark hair, a white shirt, and like khaki pants, and like scruffy, like not a full beard yet, but pretty heavy. Like, yeah. I think that was. I think they said that actually was like part of the uniform there for a while. So it wasn't like khakis, like Dockers. It was just like a tan pants and a white shirt. I think that was actually when I was asking around, but I think that was actually how they had the patient's attire for a while. Was that it was like a white shirt and tan pants, maybe like early 1900s.
I'm trying to be non-suggestive.
Like 30s, 40s, somewhere in there.
Great time. That's very cool.
So this person that went by the door wasn't in
relatively small.
Wasn't in prison garb. This person that went by the door. So I don't know. It looked like regular clothes, but sorry.
Because it's one of those, the way that you did. I know I waved my hand. It was the force again. That's what I need to be careful. Put this away. No, I'm kidding. The variables for which you were investigating were perfect. Am I?
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry. You had a little bit of a glitch there. Go ahead. Just repeat it again.
Did I glitch out? Okay. I said,
a little bit, but just go ahead and repeat it again.
You had interesting variables. I said you had interesting variables. What we know EVPs, full body apparition. You didn't have many people, and it was like a great situation. Any other evidence?
There's a bunch. My wife got. We were in the one cell block where they actually took out all the cells because of the number of suicides. It was the cell block where the cafeteria or kitchen workers would be housed, the ones that had the kitchen jobs, and they just had a nice habit of taking knives out of there and killing themselves or killing other people. And so we saw a shadow. We didn't get any audio when we were doing stuff. And I haven't gone back and played all my recorders yet. But we saw shadows moving around and stuff. And then she got tapped on the shoulder and it was like messing with her hair, which I've had this happen all the time. Now I had a hat on because it was freaking freezing and I'm always cold anyway. But usually if I'm somewhere without a hat, I have things like touching my head all the time. I always feel stuff rubbing my
People
head.
were touching you?
Not this time, but yeah, when I go to other places, that's why I don't in generally like investigating in cold weather because you're bundled up more. So like that's one way of getting data that you're not going to get because I had a hat on. But yeah, so she was touched there. Yeah, got a lot of weird things on the Phasma box. It was a cool place. I heard keys jingling out in the yard. I was just hanging out in the yard, and then you heard what sounded like like a big thing of keys. You just heard jingle, 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 jingle.
Ding, 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 ding. Gosh, that's
So
so cool.
definitely going back. It was very cool.
Ruth says, I know this is off topic, but I was wondering, where's the best place to go in New Jersey?
Well, I don't know the best place to go, but there's a lot in. I don't want to say they're actually in Jersey though. Some of them are actually more in Philly, but you have a whole bunch right within close distance. I don't know how many are open anymore but Eastern State's awesome. Fort Delaware is awesome. Fort Mifflin is awesome. There's some cool asylums in the northern part of the state, but you'd have to like sneak in there. I'm not advocating that at all, but they're not open for investigation, but they're cool.
And isn't
Pine Barrens.
I'm so sorry that I can't remember the name of this one, but I'm thinking, isn't that also in the outskirts of an old Katie says, I'm in Jersey. Yes. Shoot.
Pizza was mentioned too. Sorry, go ahead. I'm responding to the comment. I'll get to that then, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was thinking there was a hospital for like amputated children or very sick children that Schmaggin's covered on one of his things, but had long been.
Oh no, I've been there. We're gonna do deep dives on that Penhurst. Penhurst is awesome.
Penhurst? I've been to Penhurst. I thought, was that there? I didn't go
maybe
to it.
Maybe there's another one, but yeah, Bagans did one in. I have a lot of data and a lot of stories.
It must be that. Okay, I was thinking that was Jersey. My bad.
Yeah, we asked Peppers. We played this on Sunday night, but this cracked me up. I asked. So again, these would be prisoners on the, at least theoretically. I asked if you could have one thing, what would it be? And this little voice comes through and goes, pizza.
True.
So
true that. I love a good slice. Yeah, pizza. I like it that they were relevant. And of course, you're referring to when we say Sunday night, last week's Sunday Night Dead episode, which you can find on the YouTube channel. So you guys be sure and go watch that.
Paranormal channel. You can look up Sunday Night Dead on Facebook. I actually stream it to a lot of these other ones on here. So like Astrology and Alchemy and On Moon Astrology at all. I stream them to all of them. But yeah, you can find it on the Paranormal channel on YouTube.
Go there and do it. So it's already 9:20 without screaming or pointing too much at the camera. We've got some serious things to discuss in the week ahead. There's not anything crazy as far as like, a bunch of movements happening. But there is, in essence, like the end of the month, which I don't know. It's kind of a big deal, depending on how you feel about things. And it's just weird to think that this is already the last week of November. And holiday week, it's going to be busy. Today, the moon in Cancer, Neptune in Pisces, as we already were sharing. And tomorrow, Wednesday. You guys, do you know what's happening tomorrow? Mercury, which is direct, moves into, and see, because Matt knows his signs so well, he already knows where things are. And to know that it's moving from one to the next. Mercury, right, the planet of communication, it's moving direct into Sagittarius tomorrow. On a Wednesday, on a hump day. What does it mean? What does it mean?
Well, I always say when you like study the signs, there's really this kind of like pendulum, like the signs next to each other. That's why they're not as bad when we talk about like hard versus easy, kind of how signs mesh. Generally the ones that are square to each other, which is that kind of like in your way, are the ones where the energies kind of clash more. But the ones next to each other generally are kind of this pendulum shift, so it's different. So we're moving from fixed water. I say if there's a word that I would describe Scorpio, it's intensity and purpose. So purpose, and I would say purpose, intention, and intensity. Sagittarius, kind of the phrase I'd go for this is sure, why not? It's the explorer. So as opposed to maybe very planned and very intent and intense on what you do, now it's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And so it's the more explorer energy. It's a try new things energy. It's a I don't want to say wing it, but there is a little bit of that. It's mutable fire, so it's like flexible fire. So it's doing things, but it's just kind of whatever. So it's a very different energy. So what I see Mercury when you're thinking thoughts of communication in this area, it's exploratory. It's trying new things. So you may have people communicate with you in different ways. May have people communicate with you on topics that they normally wouldn't have before. You may have just people trying to explore by learning more about you. Now that can be the same as I would say kind of where Mercury came from, the Scorpio energy, but it's a little bit of a different. This is more of like a not so much information gathering as just kind of I want to learn, and so tell me all about you, kind of thing. So it's Sagittarius energy is kind of fun. So not that the other ones aren't. It's just it's Jupiter. Jupiter's kind of life of the party, expansion. I always say it's that car pulling up with its door swinging open, going "come on in" kind of deal. It's I think
it's
the other one I
Chris
say
Farley
is
energy.
life of the part, like at a party. Gemini is the one being the social butterfly, and they're very entertaining because they're going around talking to everybody. And
What do you think?
Sagittarius is the one that's like, we're diving out the window and going in the pool. They're the ones like
I am a golden god.
They're the ones doing the crazy crap. I think last week I said it's kind of like that, and I don't mean this in a negative way. The show Jackass energy. I always think of that episode where they're like jumping off the roof into a pile of like elephant poop. It's just. Then they asked why not, and they're like, because we're brave. Just do
Why
it.
not? You only live once. You only live once. My best friend is a Sagittarius, and she's like a Sagittarius, Aries, Scorpio. I believe it's like just a shit show, really. And that fire energy, it's both it will ghost you for 4 or 5 days and not even realize what they're doing because they're on some binge of some kind out doing something. But also, when they're doing something, they're doing it. They are doing it. And you really don't realize what's happening until it's probably 75% of the way already done. And so in that essence, if you're not ahead of that Sagittarius thing, this is tomorrow. Someone had said in the chat room, a Sagittarius is a riot and they're going to blurt out the truth. So if we're thinking about all of us having a filter that is that way, going from our head to our mouth and what we say and that what other people are saying, that if you go, oh yeah, tell me more about that. Oh yeah, how does that feel? In my space working in forensic counsel, this is a really great space to ask certain triggering questions. It's going to explode. People are going to tell me exactly what I need to hear. People are going to give confessions. People are going to tell their secrets. This also means, you're telling me Thanksgiving dinner is going to be Mercury and Sagittarius over politics. So, you like this? No, I don't, Karen. I think it's crap. What? Oh, no. If you find yourself being someone who's trying their very best to be tight-lipped, already looking into the energy, this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well. This is not going to go well. Start planning it out now.
And that's what we were talking earlier, and I said that's the one thing. Like with the Sag energy, though, this could be like
non-verbal magic.
The person that never talks politics or controversial stuff is going to be the one like that throws the hand grenade out on the table. That's kind of the piece about it too. It's going to be, somebody's going to be there going, we've never really talked about this. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there, and it's exploration, learning, growing, expansive. So somebody may get this idea. I wonder how Grandpa's going to act if I say this, and then you have dinner blow up.
I'm sick and tired of this, and I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, it's one of those, it's absolutely ridiculous. And someone's like, you know what? This is one of those, if you have a stroke or that part of the brain that's just you don't filter well, that would be like your front or your occipital, making good decisions. Being able to have foresight, maybe you don't. If you are, I'm saying I'm a lot tonight, which means I don't know. And I'm saying that as I look to the chat, as I scroll. I've noticed that, by the way. I gave you my list for nonverbal communication. Matt and I were doing that magic earlier this week. Focus on how you can communicate when you feel something moving through your body that you're like, oh, I shouldn't say that. And you're really trying everything. The fire, you can't stop a fire. And like Buddha has told us, holding on to a fire, you'll burn yourself trying to throw that hot coal at someone else. You don't want to hold on to it, but you also don't want to throw it at someone. So channeling it, dampening it. Now is the time to practice your ASL. Maybe we're going to be thankful for what we're eating on Thursday with our mother and our father and all of our family. Like maybe we're just going to have another way of communicating or texting or any of that. As Matt shared in the chat room, people being more candid, people being more casual, boundaries, minimizing. Ah, be careful. So, all those things, just be aware. Just be aware. That's all we're asking. If you're aware of it, you're not a victim to it, which is really what's most important. Mercury entering Sagittarius. Ritual suggestions are sand, boundaries, shading. Shadow work is repellent versus resistant. Ah, I love that. Repellent versus resistant. And people in the chat room, I might add, are sharing their chicken recipes. It's also a witchery, green witchery. That is, you're a kitchen witch. Oh, I'm sorry, my casting finger there. If you're using the three sisters, right? Rosemary, sage, and thyme, and a real chicken as opposed to a fake chicken, that you put in water, not shit water, but good water, and boil it with a little salt and pepper and garlic and a little jalapeno, maybe some ginger if you're awesome for a day, but not too long, because if the fat breaks down, you can have a seizure. Bone broths are really good until they're not good. Then you seize out. But anyway, which that's not funny. I only laugh because the poison is in the dose. It's not funny, Matt.
That's why I'm not a kitchen witch. And
I know, right?
rarely even cook.
How much arsenic? Just that was not okay. What?
I'll keep bone broth out of my potions.
Yeah. No. Okay.
I was actually going to have one tonight here to drink while I'm doing, but I got Coke instead.
Which is also good to get the acid off of your batteries. Yeah. But don't stay away from bone broth. If you put a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in there, it'll help separate. And then you just spoon off too much of the weird fat and keep the good fat. And that's a good thing. And that is a good alibi. Anyway, Thursday, we're going to have some more stuff going down. And I say stuff because here we go. First things first, moon, which is waning. I know you say that you don't do as much moon magic as I, but I don't believe that to be true. If it's waning, it's minimizing. I kind of think about it, we're seeing less of it waning or raining. It's this a sense of draining, a sense of minimizing, a sense of lessening. This is that time of like, I want less stress, less toxic bullshit, less craziness, less fire out of control. I want less chaos. I want whatever less than magic would be good. But then, so then you've got the moon is in Leo, and I've got to look at what oh no, it's squaring off with Mars. Oh no. And you'll correct me if I'm wrong. Mars is in Scorpio. This happens on Thursday. The moon is in Leo, squaring off with the moon in Scorpio. Dun dun dun. What does that mean?
Fixed fire, moon's your emotions, your inner world. Leo is, I always think, and nobody take this the wrong way, but I always, even though he's not a Leo, I always think of Trump when I think of
Oh, you do. Why?
Leo. It's the
Because he's
spot
a Leo rising.
they
So we're
like.
talking
He is
about
a Leo,
this.
which I'm a Leo rising, and I don't feel I have anything in common. I don't feel I have anything in common. And I'll go ahead and add my wife. And ironically enough, when I look back at her, I think I don't know the birth dates of everybody, but everybody that I had a significant romantic relationship were all Leos. So I'm not bashing Leo. It is. They like attention. They like spotlight. I always say, it's always described as generous, but I always feel it's like, we were talking about this earlier this week. I feel it's like the Bible verse where, the rich man's giving the donation and they have everyone blow the horn so everybody gets to see them give the donation. There's like the generous to it, but they want to be seen being generous. So you have that emotional of kind of wanting recognition, wanting attention, and what's in the way. Actions in this fixed water, intense. So I view this as maybe emotionally you want attention and it's going to run counter against maybe some actions from some other people that they're doing that's going to like totally complicate it. Like, I don't know. You have some big thing all set up that people are going to see you do something, and right at the last minute, somebody pulls a car in front of you or somebody else proposes, and then everybody turns and looks at the proposal going on next to you, and you lose your moment. And so it's that kind of thing. Yeah, I'll go to that one. It's like somebody else stealing the spotlight from you is kind of what I see on this.
And this is on Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
right.
So this very well could be. I have a huge announcement, and then all of a sudden, and you see these in movies where somebody's going to go ahead and say something, and then all of a sudden at the other end of the table, there's an engagement announced, or we're having a baby, or something like that, and it totally like you totally get one upped. That's what it's going to be. You're going to get one. People are going to get one upped tomorrow.
And this is Dee, kind of one of our fellow astrologers in the show chat, sharing that Leo and Scorpio, not a good mix, because Leo might be playing like a cat. Scorpion, not playing. Oh, yeah? That's funny, because I remember that one time, and they're going to, like, lay it out.
Yeah, and I want to lay on this, and maybe this is just my gut reaction, but the aftermath of this, the Leo side may end up having the more public fit, during Thanksgiving dinner. The Scorpio is going to be the one that this is going to come up 10 years later at Thanksgiving dinner. Like they're not going to forget this shit. They're going to be like, the Leo will probably have their thing and then forget about it. Like the Scorpio, if they get one up in this, or even have any kind of back and forth on this, they're not going to forget.
Well, and I think too, when I'm looking at this, because this is what's funny is, again, you guys, I did this last month, and I sat down and meditated on the last day of the month, and then I read the day that I send it out, I refresh and kind of, look at it, and I play my music and do my thing. And I put for today, you might be frustrated, easily irritable, but the agitation is internal. It is a projection of something to be addressed. It is an inner fire bubbling, a brew of secrets that are wanting to be let out. Containment, ego, and pride. Remember the story of Pandora's box. Which, remember, that story. If she had kept the box open for a little bit longer, we wouldn't have had the issues. That was my favorite part of the story, that it got cut short right before the answer flew out of the box. Right before the end. We should do that story. Maybe we'll share it on the Astrology and Alchemy page on Facebook. But what's really exciting, so we know this is happening on Thursday, November 25th. That's this Thursday. That's this holiday, this Thanksgiving, whether you're partaking or not. And knowing that the moon is in Leo, squaring off with Mars and Scorpio, and a vibe of Mercury and already a fiery Sagittarius space. What happens on Friday? The waking up. Oh, it's a day after Thanksgiving. Sandwiches. So we call those day after Thanksgiving sandwiches. T-Dats the day after. And that's turkey and mustard and mayonnaise and a little bit of stuffing, maybe a little bit of cranberry on a roll, dipped in gravy. Yum. You're going to be feeling great. Maybe you were the drama. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you opened Pandora's box. Maybe you didn't. We know because Friday, the moon is in Leo, opposite Jupiter in Aquarius. What does that mean, Matt?
Ooh. Okay,
Right? Jupiter in Aquarius. That's
first, I'm
throwing
going to say for
cocaine on the
those
fire.
who, and not that anybody really gives a shit, but if anybody knows me, they know that I get a little OCD on this. For those who celebrate, I do believe that Friday is the first day where it's appropriate to put out Christmas decorations. I'm just going to go ahead and
That's correct.
in this part of the world, they start putting it up on November 1st, and it kind of bugs me. But anyway, we still go. So opposite is not square where it's in your way. Opposite is this tension. So they're opposite.
That's 2 steps forward, 2 steps back.
So this is so we already covered, emotional Leo wants attention. So this is kind of, much more outward energy on this. And it's having tension with Jupiter is expansive. Jupiter is opportunity. Jupiter is that car pulling up saying, hop on in, we're going. And the sign is the destination. In this case, it's Aquarius, the curveball, the rebel, the social activist, the championing of causes, the I don't care what the rules are, I'm going to go ahead and rebel against it. So this
on a Friday.
I almost view this as you want to possibly get, this is almost like acting out to get attention. Do you want to do something kind of out of character, kind of buck up against the rules to kind of get attention? And you may have the opportunity to do that.
Now, you guys, I want you to listen to this micro in your own life. Are you going to act up for attention and throw cocaine on the fire? Or who in your indirect circle is going to be easily coerced by this universal movement? And how's it going to pan out? Oh, yeah, it's going to be crazy Uncle Joe and Joe. And you can already see it. But also go ahead and vector out a little bit and see it as a macro. See it as this different micro, macro worldview, even, or just American. How is this going to happen? What's this going to be? What's this going to be? Is this going to be politics? Is this going to be a mandate? It's Aquarius. It's Jupiter in Aquarius. It's the expansion of a weird rule that's changed in the last 2 years. What has changed in the last 2 years that's going to get weird this Friday, and more cocaine is going to be thrown on the fire? Epstein. It's going to be the Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
Yeah, I see this as the extension of the last two signs we just talked about. You're going to have the exploratory conversation, the person throwing the hand grenade on the table. You're going to have the one person upstaging or one-upping somebody else. And so today is when we wake up the next morning, and if people are still, on the road at family visiting, I'm just thinking about that yesterday, and I really want attention. And so I'm just going to go ahead and act out of character and kind of stoke up whatever got stirred up on Thursday. So I feel this is like part 2 of whatever drama happens at the Thanksgiving Day table. Somebody's going to decide to whip it all up again on Friday.
Katie, being politically fun and saucy in the chat room, even saying, I think of Thanksgiving as us white people being jerks to habitants of a land, and that we deserve all the curses upon us. And so today, considering that BS, we pulled back then. It's an acting out, just even saying that. Again, it's kind of an interesting... That's an interesting space, because I get into the whole psychology of retribution and past hindsight and recycling energy and reliving and breaking cycles and all sorts of really interesting systems and things like that. As far as like, if you have a day to bring awareness to something or to give energy to something, how do you want to do it? I have some Native ancestors. Majority of them I don't know much about because of the Rolls Dawn, because of the reintegration into Christian camps. So it's hard to know much about that culture. And what's sad is I still celebrate Thanksgiving, and we celebrate what we're thankful for and what we still have and what isn't conquered yet or to be conquered still. And like being well aware that conquering, no offense, Christopher Columbus, wasn't just something he was known for or for even doing it that well. And taking something from other people, again, I don't want to say that it's exclusive to the white man. I think it's kind of a human trait, greed. So the fact that we can make a holiday of it to not work, I think is very American. And I'll probably eat good food on that day. And we also usually go and buy from our local indigenous because we live in a really heavily indigenous location, which is very cool because then I can shop local and support all my local, like, you know, artists and things like that, which I love. But it's kind of an interesting thing. Politics, I wonder if it will be there that Friday. Guaranteed. Looking at the astrology, knowing that Jupiter in Aquarius has been a theme for American politics. Jupiter has been a theme for entertainment and fame. The moon, internal feelings being sparked. Leo, pride. This is going to be a declaration of people running for president. This is going to be interesting. I'm excited to see what Friday brings. And we'll know more by what Saturday brings because it's a domino effect, guys. This is how it works. Probability like Kerplunket on The Price is Right. And on Saturday, it's a fourth quarter moon. Hail to the gods in Virgo. Thank you. My first, second, third, and fourth are all Virgo. So for me, Virgo is a good space. And the moon waning in its fourth quarter is going to be in Virgo on Saturday. How do you think that this pans out?
Well, first I was going to say, I don't know what sign. I was originally going to say Aquarius, but no, because this wouldn't have any cause to it when you were talking about all those other things. I don't know what sign this would hit, but I kind of unashamedly just do my thing. And I'm not a huge champion of causes, or I always say I'm like radically independent, no teams, no tribes. I just do my own freaking thing. So, yeah, so more power to you all with your causes and
That's like, yay,
yeah,
cause.
I just do my own thing. It's Sub-Zero, Katie. Yes, I just swigged. That's my. Some people may hate it, but I'm gonna do
Boulder.
it. I drink constantly, so keeps my voice. So fourth quarter moon in Virgo. So we're winding down. This cycle was what? This was a Taurus cycle, wasn't it? No, Libra.
No, it was
What was the
Taurus.
full moon? No, it just started. So it was Taurus, right? Yeah, so it was just a couple days ago. So yeah, this signal would be oh no, it's the new moon. So the new moon would be Scorpio. See, you're the better moon person. So this is that, I viewed this cycle as looking inside yourself and what do you want to be intentional about? What do you want to put your focuses? What do you want to put your focus on? What do you want to kind of almost like a laser focus your intensity on? And so I think this really works well because as the last quarter in all this, then it is kind of Virgo is the very analytical, very, I's dotted, T's crossed. So hopefully you have your plan in this cycle now about what you want to be intentional on. What do you want to focus your energy on? And this is the whole finalizing the details of that plan. So you can move into our next cycle, which is going to be, I believe it should be in Sag, which means it's going to be explore. So it's take what you built from this. What do you want to be intentional about? And how are you going to go out and explore and push the boundaries in that area?
Take what you need, go for what you need more of. Clean, organize, clean out, purge, get ready, prep, small tasks, chores, get her done. Get spaces and faces and healthier spaces. It says there will be some manic purging. And what is the trash in your life is the shadow work question for this Saturday. And I do fully expect with that Virgo energy for it to be very productive. People are going to be doing those, hopefully. They've waited and are doing those Christmas decorations, getting their stuff all ready and exciting for the holiday season upon us. And yes, the Scorpio moon because there's a solar eclipse in Sagittarius and moon and all sorts of kind of crazy things coming, and it's going to get crazy. But Sunday, after you have your cleaning day on this Saturday, that's this Saturday. Don't do it a moment before because you're still going to feel pretty exhausted as we continue in this kind of eclipse space. But Sunday, the 28th, the last Sunday of November 2021, the sun, the center of our galaxy, will be in Sagittarius. Fire! Conjunct Mercury, also in Sagittarius, still direct. What does this mean? Sagittarius, Sagittarius, fire, fire, fire.
So sun's, your external self, kind of your core self, Mercury, thoughts and communication. So I, in general, would describe a Sun-Mercury conjunction as walking the talk. So you could also say the same thing about Mars and Mercury, but I think, Sun. So this is all kind of, you're combining it. So it's all in Sagittarius. It's all in this exploration, try new things, space, and your communication is very consistent with kind of yourself and kind of your extroverted self. So this is, I see this as just very consistent thoughts and actions on Sunday. So people are going to say what they mean what they say, act on what they're saying, and it's going to be in this kind of, again, pushing the boundaries. So
say what you mean what you say. It's kind of funny. I had put maintenance, mental energy will be strong, and you will be aroused by ideas, but the fire will feel exhausting. Realizations and manifesting ideas that you started 6 to 8 weeks ago, but continued momentum is still needed. So understanding, and don't laugh, stroke versus stoke the fire. Right?
mm-hmm.
Yes. And then Brianna says, and this means the pastor brings up the Micah text that says, don't rob God of the tithe. It's almost the end of the year. Give me money. I want money. Ding, 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 ding. That's what I want. That's what I think of.
Yeah, we were just saying that the other, I
We
forget,
were.
last week or the week before.
We
We had
did.
that
Stroke versus stoke. Know what you want and know how to get it. Don't waste a single bit of energy. Waste not, want not. Right?
Yep.
I guess. Man, this is Sunday. Fire, fire, fire. On just don't. Man. What would the advice be on this day? Because Sunday after the holiday, it's been a long weekend for parents that have had their kids at home. The holiday kind of reprieve. Cyber Monday will be the very next day. It'll be like writing lists and getting Christmas things and getting stuff ready for winter. And in a national space, I almost feel like this is going to be, whereas usually news headlines don't come out on a Sunday, they come out on a Monday. I kind of feel like some news headlines are going to come out this Sunday as well that are going to like ignite the week. And I feel like it'll be like fuel related because there's so much fire and the sun. I'm seeing a lot of gold references lately, like gold dipped lips, gold hands, gold, things dripped in gold. Like that's the thing right now. And with the sun and the fire, I kind of feel like that ogre, iron, elemental, gold, honey kind of theme. So I'm going to go with like gasoline or fuel or something on Sunday.
I'm seeing this as spending. I think there's going to be a lot of good shopping, and like I think it was Matt was in there talking about how he was seeing things in sales, how he's going. I think it's going to be a big. People are going to be, despite all the economic things out there, people are going to be willing to try new things. So this is good. good sales day. I know, some places, depending on the business, Sunday of Thanksgiving week may or may not generally have a lot of patrons, but yeah, I think this is going to be a, impulse buying, spending.
First meal to do that, by the way. Arbors is liberating. Gracious pepper will be done here fairly, so guilty.
You're kind of breaking up again, but
oh gosh, okay. So then the last 6-7 minutes here, let's end strong, knowing Monday 29th. That's because I gave a prediction on how that verdict is going to go.
mm-hmm.
Apparently I'm not allowed to talk about it. That's just welcome to my world. Monday the 29th, Mars in Scorpio. Trine. Better not be trying me. Trine. Neptune. Gosh dang it. Not another Neptune in Pisces. It
You saw my
is.
expression. It's because I was thinking, what else is in it? Trying has to be another water planet, and what else is in water? And I'm thinking it's got to be Neptune.
It is. It is.
Yeah. All right. So trying is synergy. Here we already talked about Mars and Scorpio. So this is that intensity. It's, Scorpio is always intentional, intense, and they won't necessarily show their cards. So what the plan isn't necessarily what you're going to see, but this is action. So this is going to be very intentional and intense action that has synergy with Neptune, dreams, desires, possibly delusion. I always say it's foggy. What you're seeing might not be what it really is. In the home sign of Pisces, which is that kind of deathbed perspective, just introspective, psychological. So this is intense action aligning with dreams and possibly delusion. So this is like,
yeah, baby.
This is like well thought out plans, but off. So, you think of like those engineering things you see where like the bridge, the two bridges meet and they get to the end and they're like this. It's like, you have these well thought out intense and intentional plans, but because Neptune is in Pisces, the whole target may have been off. And so
guys,
I'm gonna call this Misfire Monday. It's gonna be just
Oh no.
Yeah. It's one of those days. I always give this advice a lot. This is one of those days where I always say, if it seems like a good idea, sit on it till Tuesday and see if it still looks like a good idea. You may get more information once this aspect is gone, and that Neptune influence might be, not so strong. You may see things differently and see that, like that meme, that shadow in the fog isn't Batman, it's a horse. It's yeah.
Be good. It is, and this is that Neptune and Pisces, very much the energy that we're feeling today. If you have a sense of how today felt for you, this is going to be a Monday that moves into, and let's just face it, here in the last few minutes of what we have to expect for the last day of November. Two things happen on this day. So two big movements that are happening. In the first, on Tuesday the 30th, Mercury, still direct in Sagittarius, but it's going to be sextile Saturn in Aquarius. The rules shifting again with whatever was happening on Friday is going to turn its ugly head again on Tuesday. But also, that's happening alongside Venus, vagina, sensuality, that's in Capricorn, which is sextile Neptune and Pisces again. So it's kind of back to back, a Neptune and Pisces. That same Monday, Tuesday, it'll be Venus and Capricorn, sextile Neptune and Pisces. So that is a lot. Now that's a lot. So I'm going to put that up there. We're going to look at it. And Matt, you let me know when you're reading that. Yep. You guys have been with us
Mercury,
for a while.
It's that explorational thoughts and communication. Sextile is remove obstacles. So I would say Saturn is the rules. The rings are restrictive, but Aquarius is kind of the rebel. So I've been viewing this energy as, and I think it's what you see has gone on in the world in the last year or so. opportunity to change rules and shake things up and alter rules. And so this is exploratory communication, removing obstacles to kind of changing rules. So this is people are going to start being outspoken about something they want to change. So look for that on Tuesday. Look for people voicing some idea and possibly momentum getting behind something that needs to change in the world. The second one, Venus. So, romance can also be business, but we usually go with the romance thing. Capricorn, achievement oriented, a little bit more colder energy, removing obstacles to, once again, we got Neptune, we got that delusional type piece. So this is, at least this is happening on a Tuesday.
Sorry.
I see this as, once again, much like Mars was that intentional action that was misaligned. This can be romantic action or intent that is misaligned. So be very careful on Tuesday. If you have any plans to initiate or have any communication in the romantic realm, you may be misreading things. Wait till Wednesday to see if it still looks like it's a good idea.
The perfect song is playing in my head right now. The perfect song is playing in my head. And if you're a child of the 80s, you're going to remember this music video trivia. He had to be in the background of the music video because the lead singer had actually been in a motorcycle accident and like broken his legs and ribs and couldn't dance around like usual. Rock the cradle of love.
Oh, yeah.
Rock the cradle of love. Or the really pretty rock the cradle of love. Oh, yeah. And the girl comes next door and she's like, oh, how are you doing? And she spills, she spills her wine all over her dress. And the guy's like, oh, I'm so nervous. And he like puts her stuff in the laundry. And while he's doing laundry, he looks over because who has blinds in his freaking apartment? But I guess this guy does. But anyway, he looks through the blinds and she's dancing naked through his room. And he's like, what? She's dancing naked in my room. And rather than go in there, I'm just going to watch her like a weird person. Like her dancing around naked isn't weird enough. And they're dancing and there's wine and Billie Eilish going, rock the cradle of love. And then her boyfriend knocks and it's sad. And that's how it ends. And nobody really knows how it ended. Tuesday, rock the cradle of love. Innuendo for pedophilia. Making poor mistakes. Better ask. You better ask.
She froze again. I'm just gonna say, just play it safe on Tuesday. Just don't ask anybody out or express your feelings or just wait till Wednesday. Just wait till Wednesday. Neptune in general to me, so it's probably going to be. I mean, the planets move so slow in this, but I'd say generally anything if Neptune's involved, just wait till that aspect moves on because your chance of misreading something is really high. Very
high. Am I still bleeping out?
No, you're there. And Katie, correct. Yeah, it was like a half share. It was really weird about that one too, much to your point. Like it looks like, I know they did it with like how the appearance and how she was, but they looked like there was like a massive age difference between how she looked when she knocked on the door and then she was prancing around the apartment.
Right. That whole music video is really strange, but weird. It brings up a good point, and it's the exact energy we're going to have next Tuesday. So be very careful and keep your wine in a closed lid glass. Right? Deal with it as best you can, says Dee, and have a very great weekend. You guys, next time we talk, it is going to be the last day of November. We're going to be here with you. We're going to get through it together, and we're going to tackle December, and we're going to be hopefully bringing you some dates for our workshops and things that you guys can buy for yourself and get gift certificates for readings and things for the holiday. So don't miss it. You're going to want to be here next Tuesday for Astrology and Alchemy with me, Paranormal Sarah, and Matt. I'm going to type where they can find us.
I just saw I have weird things happen in this house, and I just had something go by the door that wasn't there. So that happens to me all the time. There's I have all kinds of during the shows. I have activity like the room across from this room.
No worries.
Yeah, it happens all the time here.
No big deal. Go online. Follow us on social media. You'll see more weird things, especially from Matt's Sunday Night Dead and the things that he's going to be sharing on the social media, guys. So we'll see you here next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And anywhere else, Matt, I need to type on here. What else am I missing?
Yeah, you can find, the Astrology and Alchemy Facebook page, the Autumn Moon Astrology Facebook page, mslozar at Yahoo.
It's all there.
I gotta
It's
get
all
my,
there.
I gotta get my official site back up and running. I had it up and it needs work. I just haven't had time.
Oh, we all. All right, guys. Until then, have a great week. Have a good holiday, and we'll see you.
Yeah. Take care. Have a good